Joining us right now is journalist Rick Leventhal, author of the new book, Chasing Catastrophe. He spent 35 years covering major breaking news. Rick, Russia claimed this invasion would last a week. And here we are a year later. It's been an interesting series of events with the Ukrainian army really helped quite well by the U.S. But was this a miscalculation by the Kremlin? Did the Kremlin just presume that Ukraine would lay down?
It seemed like they were not expecting this kind of resistance, Adrienne, and they have seen massive, very, very forceful resistance by the Ukrainians. But Russia has shown no signs of letting up. In fact, they are gearing up for an even more aggressive assault. What we're hearing is that they're preparing for a massive assault over the next few days to, I guess, bring in the one-year anniversary of this conflict. There's heavy fighting along the Eastern Front, and Ukraine is doing all it can to repel those Russian forces. You know, those numbers that you put up might be on the low end, because there are some estimates that as many as 180,000 Russian troops have been killed and more than 100,000 Ukrainian soldiers. And then the number of civilian deaths might even be higher. So this is a really, really awful year for Ukraine, which really, they just got their independence, just over 30 years ago.
You think about what's happening there. You think about what's happening with China. It just feels like we are nearing a tipping point. What would it take for the U.S. to perhaps decide, you know what, we've invested enough in this war? Or do you foresee that America and all of NATO is going to continue to give as much ammunition to Ukraine as they possibly can for as long as they can?
That's the key question. And it's really unclear who's going to step up and who's going to offer more help if Ukraine still needs it. I think a lot of people were expecting that with this kind of fighting going on, that Russia might at some point start pulling back. I mean, Putin is now offering pardons to convicts and prisoners to try and get them to go to the front lines because he's lost so many fighters. This is an awful situation, but a lot of countries have done very little because they feel like it's their fight and they don't want to get in the middle of it. And we've seen that over the years.
Well, and when you think about what else is going on, we have heavily sanctioned Russia, the United States has. We haven't done the same for, let's just use China because they're in the news right now and will continue to be with this spy balloon. We're not sanctioning China the same way, but we're still concerned about China as much as we are concerned about Russia. There are no peace talks planned between the U.S. negotiating something with the Kremlin and President Zelensky of Ukraine. So how does this end? Does it end?
Well, not according to Russia, not until Ukraine says uncle. I mean, Russia has pounded them and continues to pound. They're gearing up for another massive assault. And they are determined, Putin's determined, apparently, to take over Ukraine. And whether or not NATO steps up or the U.S. or other nations remains to be seen. I was in Libya for weeks during the conflict against Muammar Gaddafi when the Libyan people stood up. And I remember them saying over and over again, we need NATO's help. We need more help from NATO. We need fighter jets. We can repel their assaults if NATO only gives us what we need. I wrote about that in my book, Chasing Catastrophe, about how important it was to the Libyan people to have that outside help. And in fact, they got it, and they wound up winning that conflict. So could that happen here? Perhaps. I'm not sure why NATO hasn't given more resources or why the U.S. hasn't gotten more heavily involved, but a lot of people don't want that. And so, it's a really, really tough situation on all sides.
But when you think about what's happening even with Syria in the midst of chaos right now because of the earthquake, but Russia attacking Ukraine, you've got China sending balloons over the U.S., you have all the instability in the Middle East. Do you think that U.S., the Pentagon officials are right now thinking that this could be something where we're on the precipice of a major world war, or is that...
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Iran is helping Russia, too. I mean, some of these high-tech drones that have been shot down or have been used over Ukraine came from Iran. And we saw that in Iraq and Afghanistan. So if other countries are now providing Russia with special weaponry, then it begs the question that you just asked. At what point does the U.S. say, you know what, we got to fight fire with fire and we can't let Ukraine go down like this? And, I'm sure the Pentagon is talking about it. Whether they do anything is another story.
And whether or not U.S. troops are boots on the ground is also another story. Still yet to be
I think that's a long way off at this point. Yeah.
Rick Leventhal. We appreciate it. Congratulations on your latest book, Chasing Catastrophe.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.